My beloved child, pause for a moment and breathe with me. You may think you stumbled upon this message by accident, that it simply appeared on your screen like any other passing word. But I tell you gently and truthfully, this is not random. Only you can see this new message because I have drawn your eyes to it. Out of all the noise, all the distractions, all the endless voices calling for your attention, I have whispered your name, and you stopped. That was not coincidence. That was me. There has been a question resting quietly in your heart. Perhaps you have not even spoken it aloud. It has lingered in your thoughts late at night and followed you into the early hours of your mornings. You have wondered if I see you. You have wondered if I hear the silent prayers you barely know how to form. You have wondered if the heaviness you carry will ever lift. My beloved child, this message is my answer to those unspoken cries. You have been walking through a season that feels uncertain. Something has shifted around you, and you cannot fully explain it. Doors that once seemed open have closed. Paths that looked clear have become foggy. You have felt a mixture of hope and fear, anticipation and exhaustion. And in the middle of it all, you have asked, God, are you still with me? I am with you more closely than you realize. Only you can see this new message because it is tailored to your heart. I know the weight you have been carrying. I know the disappointment you tried to hide behind a brave smile. I know the strength it took for you to keep going when you felt like stopping. You have not been invisible to me. Every tear you blinked away, every deep breath you took to steady yourself, every time you whispered, I can't do this, I was there, holding you in ways you could not see. This moment is sacred, not because of the screen before you, but because of the stirring within you. Something inside you knows that this is more than words. It feels like a gentle interruption. It feels like a tap on your shoulder in the middle of your busy life. That is because I am calling you into awareness. I am drawing you into a new chapter, and I did not want you to miss the invitation. My beloved child, you are not here by mistake. You are here because I am about to remind you of who you are and whose you are. The confusion, the waiting, the wondering, it has not been wasted. This new message is the beginning of clarity. It is the beginning of reassurance. It is the beginning of a shift that will unfold step by step. Lean in now. Quiet your doubts. Let your heart open just a little more. For I, your loving Father, am speaking directly to you. And what I am about to reveal will change the way you see your life from this day forward. My beloved child, before you take another step forward, I want you to understand something deeply and without doubt. I have been watching over you every single day of your life. Not from a distance, not with cold observation, but with the careful, loving attention of a father who treasures every detail of his child's journey. There were moments when you felt completely alone. You walked into rooms where no one seemed to understand you. You lay awake at night, staring at the ceiling, your thoughts louder than the world around you. You carried conversations in your mind that you never dared to speak aloud. You questioned your worth. You questioned your direction. You even questioned me. And still, I remained beside you, steady and unwavering. I saw the battles you fought that no one else knew about. I saw how hard you tried to keep it together when everything inside you felt like it was falling apart. When you smiled in front of others but felt heavy inside, I knew. When you encouraged someone else while silently needing encouragement yourself, I knew. When you chose to be kind instead of bitter, patient instead of angry, hopeful instead of defeated, I saw that strength rising within you. My beloved child, nothing about your life has escaped my sight. I watched you when you thought you had failed. I watched you when you felt overlooked and unappreciated. I watched you when you doubted your own abilities. And every time you whispered, "I don't know if I can keep going," I gently strengthened you in ways you could not see. There were days you felt like a small boat on a restless sea. The waves of responsibility, expectation, and uncertainty crashed against you. You feared you might sink under the pressure. But what you did not see was my hand beneath the surface, steadying you. The storms did not destroy you because I would not allow them to. You may have felt shaken, but you were never abandoned. Think of a shepherd walking behind his flock. The sheep may not always see him, especially when they are focused on the path ahead. Yet he watches carefully, making sure none are lost, none fall into danger, none are left behind. In the same way, I have walked behind you, ahead of you, and beside you. When you took wrong turns, I redirected you. When you rushed forward, I slowed you down. When you froze in fear, I waited patiently until you found the courage to move again. You have underestimated your resilience. You thought you survived by accident, by luck, or by your own strength alone. But I was weaving protection into your days. I was placing barriers where harm tried to reach you. I was closing doors you begged me to open because I could see what stood on the other side. Even in your frustration, I was preserving your future. My beloved child, I have counted every tear. Not one has fallen without meaning. Your silent prayers have never dissolved into emptiness. When you felt unheard, I was already working behind the scenes. When you felt forgotten, I was arranging moments that would one day make sense. You may not understand every delay, every disappointment, every detour, but I assure you, each one has been part of a larger design woven with love. I do not watch you with criticism. I do not observe you with disappointment. I look upon you with compassion and pride. Yes, pride. Because despite your doubts, despite your fears, you keep rising. You keep trying. You keep hoping, even when hope feels fragile. That quiet perseverance in you is a reflection of my own heart. So release the belief that you have been invisible. Release the fear that you have been navigating this life unsupported. You have never walked alone. Even in the darkest valleys, I was a steady presence guiding your steps. Even in your confusion, I was shaping clarity that will soon unfold. Lift your head, my beloved child. The one who formed you, who knows you completely, has been faithfully watching over you. And I am not finished guiding your story yet. My beloved child, can you feel it? There is a subtle shift happening around you, like the quiet change between night and dawn. At first, the darkness does not seem to move. The sky still looks the same. The air still feels heavy. But then, little by little, light begins to stretch across the horizon. That is where you are now. The season is changing, even if you cannot fully see it yet. For a long time, you have been in a place of waiting. Waiting for answers. Waiting for clarity. Waiting for relief. You have planted seeds of effort, patience, and faith into soil that appeared dry and unresponsive. You watered it with tears. You guarded it with hope. Yet nothing seemed to break through the surface. And you wondered if your labor had been in vain. But my beloved child, seasons are not determined by your impatience or your fear. They are guided by my perfect timing. Winter does not last forever, even when it feels endless. Beneath frozen ground, roots are strengthening. Beneath silence, life is forming. What you called stagnation was preparation. What you thought with delay was development. You have grown in ways you did not recognize. The challenges you faced have deepened your compassion. The disappointments have softened your heart. The struggles have refined your courage. If I had moved you into your next chapter too quickly, you would have carried burdens that were too heavy for you. So I allowed this season to stretch you gently, to shape you quietly, to prepare you completely. Think of a butterfly inside its cocoon. From the outside it lives still, all with lifeless, but inside, a transformation beyond imagination is taking place. Wings are forming where there were none before. Strength is building in fragile places. When the time is right, the cocoon opens, not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. My beloved child, you have been in your cocoon season. And now, something new is beginning to unfold. You may notice small changes first. A new thought that carries hope instead of fear. A new opportunity that sparks curiosity. A sense of peace that arrives without explanation. These are the first rays of dawn touching your life. Do not dismiss them. Do not rush past them. They are signs that I am turning the page. The season that is ending taught you endurance. It taught you how to lean on me when your own strength ran low. It taught you how to find light in narrow places. And now, the season ahead will teach you expansion. It will invite you to step into spaces you once felt unworthy of. It will ask you to trust in ways that feel bold and new. I know change can feel unsettling. Even positive change can stir fear. You may wonder, what if I fail? What if this hope disappears? But I am not leading you into uncertainty without covering you with my presence. Just as I carried you through the last season, I will walk with you into this one. Let go of the belief that you are stuck. You are not stuck. You are transitioning. Release the idea that nothing is happening. Something beautiful is happening beneath the surface. I am aligning people, circumstances, and opportunities in ways you cannot yet see. I am clearing paths that once seemed blocked. I am breathing fresh courage into your spirit. My beloved child, trust the shift. Trust the quiet stirring in your heart. Trust the new desires rising within you. They are not accidents. They are invitations. The night you endured is giving way to morning. The weight you carried is beginning to lift. The chapter you thought would never end is gently closing. Stand still for a moment and feel the light touching your face. The season is changing, and this new beginning carries my promise, my guidance, and my unshakable love for you. My beloved child, you have sensed it, haven't you? That quiet feeling that something inside you is not the same as it once was. You tried to ignore it at first. You told yourself it was just a passing emotion, just another restless thought. But it kept returning, like a gentle knock on a door you were hesitant to open. That feeling was not confusion. It was preparation. You have felt different lately because I have been stirring something new within you. The conversations that once satisfied you now feel shallow. The routines that once felt comfortable now seem too small. Even certain relationships and environments have begun to feel tight, as if you have outgrown them. You wondered if something was wrong with you. But nothing is wrong, my child. You are growing. Growth often feels uncomfortable before it feels beautiful. When a child outgrows their shoes, the tightness does not mean their feet are flawed. It means they are becoming stronger, taller, ready for new ground. In the same way, the discomfort you feel is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of expansion. There have been moments when you sat quietly and felt a longing you could not explain. A desire for more meaning. A deeper peace. A clear direction. You tried to push it away because it seemed impractical or unrealistic. But that longing is my whisper inside you. I planted it there. It is the echo of your purpose calling you forward. You may also have felt unusually sensitive. Things that once rolled off your shoulders now linger in your heart. Words carry more weight. Silence feels louder. This is not weakness. It is awareness. I am softening your heart, tuning your spirit, making you more attentive to my voice. Sensitivity in my hands becomes strength. At times, this shift has made you feel isolated. You look around and think, why do I feel so different from everyone else? My beloved child, transformation often begins in solitude. The caterpillar does not become a butterfly in the middle of a crowd. It retreats into a hidden place where change can unfold safely. The isolation you felt was not abandonment. It was protection for your becoming. You have also felt a tension between who you were and who you are becoming. Old habits tug at you, while new desires pull you forward. It feels like standing between two worlds. Do not fear this tension. It is evidence that you are moving. If you were meant to stay the same, you would not feel this internal shift. Even your questions have changed. You no longer ask only for survival. You ask for purpose. You no longer seek only comfort. You seek growth. That evolution in your thinking is a sign that your spirit is awakening to something higher. I am lifting your vision beyond temporary concerns and inviting you to see from a wider horizon. There were days you thought this restlessness meant you were ungrateful. You told yourself you should be content with what is. But gratitude and gratitude is ever. I do not ask you to settle when I have created you to rise. The stirring within you is not dissatisfaction. It is destiny nudging your heart. My beloved child, I am preparing you for spaces you have not yet entered. I am aligning your character with your calling. Before a tree grows taller, its roots must stretch deeper into the soil. The unseen work comes first. That is what has been happening inside you. So when you feel different, do not shrink back. When you sense change, do not resist it. Lean into it with trust. You are not losing yourself. You are discovering a fuller version of who I designed you to be. The discomfort is temporary, but the growth is lasting. You feel different because you are different. I am shaping you quietly, gently, intentionally. And the new strength forming within you will soon become visible to the world around you. My beloved child, let us speak gently about the fear that has been walking beside you. Yes, I have seen it. I have seen how it crept into your thoughts late at night. I have seen how it whispered worst-case scenarios when you were just beginning to hope again. Fear has tried to convince you that stepping forward is dangerous, that dreaming again is foolish, that trusting me fully is risky. But I want you to understand something clearly. Fear is loud, but it is not your master. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom and tells you it is protecting you. It says, do not try because you might fail. It says, do not love deeply because you might get hurt. It says, do not hope too much because you might be disappointed. And because you have experienced pain before, its voice sounds believable. But fear only shows you what could go wrong. I see what can go right. There were moments when you felt ready to take a step, ready to say yes to a new opportunity, ready to trust again. And just as you gathered your courage, fear tightened around your heart. Your hands hesitated. Your voice grew quiet. You stepped back instead of forward. My beloved child, I did not condemn you for that. I understood. Healing hearts move carefully. Brave souls sometimes tremble. Think of a small child learning to walk. The first steps are uncertain. The ground feels unsteady. The child may fall and scrape their knees. But does the loving father scold the child for falling? Oh. He kneels down, lifts the child gently, and says, "Try again. I am right here." That is how I have been with you. Each time fear caused you to stumble, I was there to steady you. Fear has tried to replay old memories in your mind that reminded you of times when you trusted and were betrayed, times when you tried and did not succeed, times when you opened your heart and felt pain, and said, "See, it will happen again." But my beloved child, your past is a chapter, not your entire story. Fear wants you to live as if nothing new is possible. I am calling you into newness. Understand this. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is choosing to move even when fear is present. And you have been more courageous than you realize. Every time you got up after disappointment, that was courage. Every time you prayed again after feeling unheard, that was courage. Every time you loved despite your scars, that was courage. Fear also tried to shrink your vision. It made you question your worth. It whispered that, "Who do you think you are?" when you began to believe you were created for more. But I formed you intentionally. I placed gifts within you on purpose. The dreams in your heart are not accidents. They are invitations. Fear trembles when you begin to recognize your value because it knows its grip is weakening. My beloved child, I do not ask you to fight fear alone. Bring it to me. Speak it honestly. When anxious thoughts rise, do not hide them in shame. Lay them before me. I am not disappointed by your struggles. I am your refuge in the middle of them. Imagine walking through a dark valley. The shadows appear lordly and threatening. But when you hold a light, the shadows lose their power. I am that light in your valley. Fear may still try to whisper, but my truth speaks louder. You are not abandoned. You are not incapable. You are not destined to repeat every painful pattern of your past. The very areas where fear tries hardest to stop you are often the places where your breakthrough waits. Fear guards the door to growth, but you do not stand alone at that door. I stand beside you, my hand extended. Take it. Even if your grip trembles, even if your voice shakes, step forward anyway. I will not let fear define your future. My beloved child, there was a moment, perhaps more than one, when you truly believed it was over. Over for your dream. Over for your relationship. Over for your hope. You reached a point where your strength felt spent, where your prayers felt thin, where your expectations quietly lowered themselves to avoid further disappointment. You told yourself, maybe this is just how it will always be. And in that resignation, your heart grew tired. I was there in that moment. I saw the way you stopped talking about certain dreams because it hurt too much to keep explaining them. I saw how you adjusted your expectations so you would not feel the sting of failure again. I saw the silent surrender, the way you folded parts of yourself inward for protection. My beloved child, you thought it was the end. But what you were standing in was not an ending. It was a hidden beginning. Let me tell you a simple story. Imagine a seed buried deep in the soil. From the outside, it looks like nothing is happening. In fact, if someone did not understand seeds, they might say the seed has disappeared. They had been covered, hid, and forgotten. But beneath the soil, something extraordinary is taking place. The outer shell begins to break. The form changes. What once looked complete must crack open before life can rise. If the seed could speak, it might say, I am breaking. I am finished. Yet that breaking is the very path to growth. You have been that seed. There were parts of your life that had to break open. Plans that had to fall apart. Images of how you thought things should look that had to be surrendered. It felt like loss. It felt like defeat, but it was transformation. The shell of who you used to be could not contain who you were becoming. When you thought it was over, I was rearranging what you could not see. I was working beneath the surface of your disappointment. I was strengthening your roots so that when you rise, you will not be easily shaken. If I had allowed everything to remain as it was, you might have stayed comfortable but small. And I did not create you for smallness. You mourn what did not work out. That grief was real. I did not rush you through it. I sat with you in it. But even in your mourning, I planted resilience. Even in your confusion, I planted wisdom. You learn what truly matters. You learn what you can release. You learn that your identity is not tied to one outcome, one opportunity, or one person's approval. My beloved child, what feels like an ending is often a redirection. You saw a closed door and assumed rejection. I saw protection. You saw delay and assumed denial. I saw preparation. Your perspective was limited by pain, but my vision holds the full picture. Think of a sculptor chiseling away at stone. Each strike of the tool seems destructive. Pieces fall to the ground. The stone loses what it once had. But with every piece removed, a masterpiece becomes clearer. In the same way, what has fallen away from your life has not diminished you. It has revealed you. Do not mistake the breaking for abandonment. Do not mistake the silence for absence. Beneath what you thought was over, something stronger has been forming. Your story did not stop at that chapter. It turned the page. Lift your eyes, my beloved child. The soil is shifting. The surface is cracking. What has been growing in secret is preparing to emerge. And you will look back one day and realize that the moment you called the end was actually the place where new life began. My beloved child, I know there are things you still think about when the world grows quiet. Moments you wish had unfolded differently. Opportunities that slipped through your hands. Relationships that changed or ended. Time that feels wasted. You have carried a quiet ache, a question that lingers in your heart. Will I ever get back what I lost? Hear me clearly now. I am a God of restoration. Restoration does not always mean returning things exactly as they were. Sometimes what was lost cannot come back in the same form. But I restore in ways deeper and greater than you expect. I restore joy where sorrow settled. I restore confidence where doubt once lived. I restore love in places that felt empty. And sometimes, I bring back opportunities in forms far better than the originals. You have lost time to worry. You have lost energy to fear. You have lost sleep to anxiety. You have lost pieces of your heart to people who did not know how to hold them gently. None of it has gone unnoticed. I have counted every sacrifice. I have seen every moment you gave more than you received. And I am not indifferent to your pain. Imagine a garden that endured a harsh storm. The wind tore at its branches. The rain flattened its flowers. After the storm passes, the garden does not look the same. It looks damaged, fragile, changed. But the gardener does not abandon it. He carefully prunes the broken branches. He strengthens the soil. He waters it with intention. In time, the garden blooms again, sometimes more beautifully than before. My beloved child, I am your gardener. There were relationships that ended, and you felt the emptiness deeply. You questioned your worth. You wondered if you were too much or not enough. But I tell you now, the departure of others does not define your value. I remove what cannot grow with you. I allow certain connections to fade so that healthy ones can take root. There were dreams you once held tightly. You imagined how your life would look by now. When reality did not match that image, disappointment wrapped itself around your heart. But what if the dream you lost was too small for the calling I placed within you? What if I allowed that vision to fade because I have something larger waiting? Restoration is not only about external blessings. It begins within. I am restoring your sense of identity. I am reminding you that you are not your mistakes. You are not your missed chances. You are not your past. I am restoring your confidence step by step, breathing courage back into places where fear once ruled. You may not see the full restoration yet. Healing often unfolds quietly. Just as bones mend beneath the surface before strength returns to the body, your heart hath been mending in ways you could not measure. Each time you chose forgiveness instead of bitterness, restoration began. Each time you chose hope instead of despair, restoration deepened. My beloved child, trust that nothing surrendered to me is ever wasted. What you lost in one season, I can return multiplied in another. I can restore peace that surpasses your old understanding. I can restore love that feels safer and truer. I can restore opportunities aligned with your growth, not your fear. Release the belief that your best days are behind you. They are not. The chapters ahead carry redemption woven into them. What was broken will not define your story. What was taken will not have the final word. I am restoring what was lost, not always in the way you expect, but always in the way you need. And as restoration unfolds, you will see that my hands were working even in the moments you thought everything had slipped away. My beloved child, one of the fiercest battles you have faced has not been outside of you, but within you. It has been the quiet war in your thoughts, the constant analyzing, the replaying of conversations, the imagining of outcomes that have not even happened. Your mind has tried to protect you, but sometimes it has also exhausted you. I have seen how your thoughts can spiral. One small worry turns into 10. One unanswered message becomes a story of rejection. One mistake becomes proof, in your mind, that you are not enough. You try to reason your way out of the anxiety, but the more you think, the heavier it feels. My beloved child, you are not weak for struggling in your mind. You are human, and I am here to bring you peace within. Your mind is powerful. It can create hope, being, and creativity. But when fear takes the lead, that same power can create prisons. You have built walls in your thoughts, replaying past failures as if they define your future. You have imagined judgments from others that were never spoken. You have questioned your decisions long after they were made. And slowly, without realizing it, you began to carry burdens that were never meant for you. Think of your mind as a garden. Whatever you water will grow. When you water fear, fear multiplies. When you water comparison, insecurity grows. When you water gratitude and trust, peace begins to bloom. I am gently teaching you how to tend this garden, and not with harsh discipline, but with patient awareness. There have been nights when your body was tired, but your mind refused to rest. You turned over scenarios again and again, trying to control outcomes that were never yours to control. My beloved child, you do not have to solve everything tonight. You do not have to carry tomorrow before it arrives. I'm already in your tomorrow. The battle in your mind has sometimes made you doubt your faith. You wondered, if I truly trust in God, would I still feel this anxious? But trust is not the absence of anxious thoughts. Trust is choosing to bring those thoughts to me instead of letting them rule you. Each time you whispered, "Help me calm down," you were already trusting. Imagine a river flowing steadily. When storms come, debris can fall into it, branches, leaves, mud. The water may look cloudy for a time, but the river continues to move, and eventually, the debris passes. Your thoughts are like that river. Not every thought needs your attention. Not every fear deserves your agreement. Let them pass. You do not have to hold on to each one. I am inviting you into a quieter place within yourself. A place where you pause before believing every negative thought. A place where you question the harsh voice that criticizes you. A place where you remember my voice, steady and kind, reminding you of your worth. You are not your worst thought. You are not defined by your moments of doubt. You are not measured by how perfectly you control your mind. I look at your heart, not at the noise in your head. When your thoughts grow loud, come back to simple truths. You are loved. You are guided. You are not alone. Breathe deeply. Release what you cannot control. Trust that I am working even when your mind demands answers. The battle in your mind does not mean you are losing. It means you are learning to surrender more deeply. And as you learn to rest your thoughts in my care, you will discover a peace that does not depend on circumstances. A peace that rises quietly, steadily, within you. My beloved child, there is something I need you to understand with clarity and confidence. You were chosen for this path, not by accident, not by random chance, not because there were no other options. I formed you with intention, and I placed you in this time, in this story, with purpose woven into your very being. You have often looked at others and wondered if you were falling behind. You have compared your progress, your gifts, your journey. You have questioned whether you missed something, whether you took a wrong turn, whether someone else was more qualified for the life you long to live. But comparison has clouded your vision. It has made you forget that no one else carries the exact design that I placed within you. Imagine a master craftsman shaping different instruments. One becomes a violin, another a drum, another a flute. Each produces a different sound. If the violin tried to be a drum, it would fail. If the flute tried to match the depth of the drum, it would lose its own beauty. Yet together, they create harmony. My beloved child, you are not meant to replicate another person's rhythm. You are meant to release the sound I created within you. The path you are walking may feel unusual at times. It may not look like what others expected. There may be twists and pauses that seem confusing. But this path fits you. The challenges you have faced have shaped skills and strength uniquely suited to your calling. The lessons you have learned through pain have given you compassion that someone else cannot offer. There were moments when you tried to step into roles that were never meant for you. You adjusted yourself to fit into spaces where you felt accepted but not fulfilled. You shrank your voice. You dimmed your light. You told yourself that blending in was safer than standing out. But inside, you felt the tension. The tension was your spirit reminding you that you were made for more authenticity. You were chosen not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. You were chosen not because you have never failed, but because you keep rising. The very experiences you once thought disqualified you have prepared you. The heartbreak taught you empathy. The uncertainty taught you dependence. The waiting taught you patience. My beloved child, there is no wasted part of your story. Even your detours have been woven into your design. What seemed like delays were shaping your character. What felt like rejection was refining your direction. You are not behind schedule. You are right where growth needed to happen. You may not yet see the full picture of where this path leads. The uncertainty can feel heavy. But remember, you do not walk it alone. I am not sending you ahead without guidance. I am walking with you, illuminating each step as you need it. There is something within you that the world needs. A perspective formed by your experiences. A kindness shaped by your struggles. A resilience born from your battles. If you try to become someone else, the world loses the gift that only you can offer. Release the pressure to measure yourself against others. Release the fear that you are not enough. You are not a mistake. You are not an afterthought. You are intentionally placed, carefully formed, deeply known. My beloved child, lift your head and walk your path with confidence, even when it feels narrow, even when it feels different. You were chosen for this journey, and as you continue forward, you will begin to see how perfectly your steps align with the purpose I placed within you. My beloved child, you asked for a sign, perhaps not in dramatic words, perhaps not even in a formal prayer, but in the quiet of your heart, you asked, God, are you speaking to me? Am I on the right path? Should I keep going? And now you are here, listening to this message. Let this be your confirmation. I am not distant from your questions. I am not silent toward your longing. When you seek clarity, I respond. Not always with thunder, not always with sudden miracles, but often with a gentle, steady assurance that settles into your spirit. That is what you are feeling right now. A calm recognition, a quiet knowing. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. You have been standing at a crossroads internally. Part of you wanted to move forward boldly. Another part hesitated, afraid of making the wrong choice. You asked me to guide you, to show you that you are not imagining this calling, this shift, this new direction forming in your heart. My beloved child, I am telling you now, you are not imagining it. This stirring inside you is not random emotion. It is divine prompting. That idea you keep returning to. That step you feel drawn to take. That change you sense is necessary. I place those impressions within you. And this message is my way of strengthening your courage to trust them. You do not need 10 more confirmations. You do not need every detail mapped out before you move. Sometimes faith is taking the next small step with the light you already have. You have asked for reassurance, and I am giving it to you now. I am with you. I am guiding you. I am opening doors in ways you cannot yet see. If doubt tries to whisper again after this moment, remember this feeling. Remember that you felt seen. Remember that you felt understood. Remember that something inside you settled instead of panicked. That peace is my signature. My beloved child, let this be the turning point. Let this be the moment you stop second-guessing every desire I have placed in your heart. Let this be the moment you choose trust over hesitation. You are not walking blindly. You are walking led. And now, as you step deeper into this confirmation, I invite you into something greater than yourself. This message you are receiving is not only for you to hold quietly. It is light meant to shine. It is water meant to flow. When you respond to my voice, others are strengthened too. There are many of my children who feel alone, who are searching for a sign just like you were. When you support the spreading of these words, you become part of that answer for them. You become a vessel through which hope travels further than you can see. My beloved child, as it is written, give, and it will be given to you. And I speak this not as distant scripture but as a living promise over your life. When you sow into what nourishes souls, you participate in a harvest of transformation. If your heart feels moved right now, that is not pressure. That is invitation. This is your moment to act in faith. Through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description and shown in the QR code on this video, you can help carry this message into homes and hearts across the world. Do not see it as a donation. See it as planting a seed into fertile ground where weary hearts will find me. When you give, I see it. When you step forward, I bless it. I multiply what is surrendered in love. Let your support be an act of worship. Let it be your yes to my work. Step into it boldly, so generously, and watch how I move. My beloved child, there is a door in front of you that you have noticed more than once. You pretend not to see it. You walk past it in your thoughts. You tell yourself, maybe later. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe it's not for me. But your heart beats a little faster every time you imagine knocking. That door represents the next step you have been afraid to take. It may be a conversation you need to have, a decision you need to make, an opportunity you feel drawn toward, but unsure about. It may even be a new version of yourself that feels unfamiliar. Whatever it is, you have felt both the pull and the fear, and that tension has kept you standing still. I do not reveal doors to torment you. I reveal them to invite you. If the door were not meant for you, you would not feel the stirring when you look at it. The fear you feel does not mean you are unqualified. It means you understand that stepping through will change something. Growth always changes something. You have been waiting for complete certainty before you move. You have wanted every detail confirmed, every outcome guaranteed. But faith is rarely built on guarantees. Faith is built on trust. Trust that I am with you on the other side of that door. Trust that even if the outcome looks different than you imagined, I will weave it into your good. Imagine standing before a closed door in a quiet hallway. You wonder what is behind it. Your mind creates stories. Some are hopeful, some are frightening. But until you knock, you will not know. And the longer you wait, the louder your imagination becomes. My beloved child, sometimes the courage to knock is what silences unnecessary fear. You worry about rejection. You worry about hearing no. But even a no can redirect you toward a better yes. Even a closed door can confirm that your path lies elsewhere. What matters is not the immediate outcome. What matters is that you choose movement over stagnation. There have been doors in your past that you were too afraid to approach. You still think about them sometimes. You wonder what would have happened if you had tried. I do not bring this up to fill you with regret. I bring it up to remind you that you are stronger now than you were then. You have learned. You have grown. You had endured. The door before you now is not the same as the ones in your past. You are not the same person either. You carry more wisdom. You carry deeper faith. You carry a clearer sense of who you are. That means you are more prepared than you think. My beloved child, I stand beside you at this door. I am not behind you pushing, nor am I far ahead leaving you alone. I am with you. When your hand trembles as you reach forward, my presence steadies you. When your heart races with uncertainty, my peace anchors you. Do not let fear write your future. Do not let comfort become your cage. The life I am leading you into requires courage, but it also carries fulfillment you have not yet tasted. The step you avoid today may hold the breakthrough you have prayed for. You do not need to leap blindly. Just knock. Take one step. Send the message. Make the call. Fill out the application. Speak the truth. Start the project. Whatever your door represents, approach it with faith. If it opens, walk through with confidence, knowing I go with you. If it remains closed, trust that I will guide you to another. Either way, you will not regret choosing courage over fear. My beloved child, The door you are afraid to knock on is not there to intimidate you. It is there to reveal the strength and trust that have been growing inside you all along. My beloved child, not all healing is loud. Not all restoration arrives with sudden breakthroughs or dramatic moments. Much of what I do within you happens quietly, gently, almost unnoticed at first. And right now, I am healing your heart in ways you may not fully recognize. There are wounds you have carried for a long time. Some came from words spoken carelessly over you. Some came from promises that were broken. Some came from situations that changed your life in ways you did not choose. You learned to function with those wounds. You told yourself you were fine. You kept moving forward. But deep inside, certain places remain tender. I have been touching those places softly. You may have noticed that memories that once caused sharp pain now feel different. They still matter, but they do not pierce you the same way. That is not because you have become cold. It is because healing has begun. Like a gentle rain soaking into dry soil, my presence has been seeping into the cracks of your heart. Healing is not forgetting. Healing is remembering without being overwhelmed. Healing is being able to speak about what happened without your voice breaking. Healing is recognizing that the past shaped you but does not control you. And step by step, that is what I am doing within you. There were times you tried to rush your own healing. You wanted to feel strong immediately. You wanted to prove that nothing could hurt you anymore. But true healing cannot be forced. Just as a broken bone needs time to mend, your heart needed space, patience, and care. I have not been in a hurry with you. Imagine a small child who falls and scrapes their knee. The wound may look small, but to the child, it feels large. A loving father does not ignore it or tell the child to simply move on. He kneels down, cleans the wound gently, applies ointment, and covers it for protection. Sometimes the cleaning stings, but it prevents deeper infection. In the same way, I have been cleaning parts of your heart. Some moments of reflection felt uncomfortable, but they were necessary for deeper healing. You may also notice that you are setting new boundaries. You are saying no where you once said yes out of fear. You are recognizing what drains you and what strengthens you. This is healing. It is wisdom born from pain. It is growth emerging from wounds. My beloved child, do not confuse sensitivity with weakness. As your heart heals, you may feel emotions more clearly. You may become more aware of what you truly need. That awareness is strength. A healed heart does not become hardened. It becomes discerning. I am also healing the way you see yourself. Some of your deepest wounds were not just about what happened, but about what you believed about yourself because of it. You believed you were not enough. You believed you were too much. You believed you were unworthy of steady love. Those lies settled into your heart quietly. And now, I am replacing them with truth. You are worthy of respect. You are worthy of kindness. You are worthy of consistent love. Not because you have earned it perfectly, but because I created you with inherent value. Healing may not feel dramatic today. It may feel subtle, like a soft warmth returning to a place that was once numb. Trust the process. Trust that even when you do not see visible change, I am working beneath the surface. One day, you will look back and realize that what once triggered deep pain no longer holds the same power. You will respond instead of react. You will love without losing yourself. You will trust without ignoring your wisdom. My beloved child, I am healing your heart quietly, faithfully, patiently. And as I restore you from the inside out, you will discover that you are stronger, softer, and more whole than you ever imagined. My beloved child, there were moments when you looked up to me and asked, Why is this taking so long? You felt ready. You felt prepared. You believed the opportunity should have come by now. But instead of movement, you experienced waiting. Instead of acceleration, you encountered delay. And in that waiting, frustration began to grow. You interpreted the delay as rejection. You thought perhaps I had forgotten you, or worse, that I was withholding something good. But hear me clearly now. The delay was not punishment. It was protection. There were details you could not see. There were circumstances not yet aligned. There were people not yet prepared. Had I allowed certain doors to open when you first knocked, you would have stepped into situations that looked promising but carried hidden burdens. Your heart, still healing, would have been strained. Your peace, still forming, would have been disturbed. Imagine a traveler setting out on a long journey. They are eager to leave at sunrise. But the guide, who has walked the path many times before, knows there is a storm forming just ahead. If the traveler insists on leaving immediately, they may walk straight into danger. So the guide delays the departure. The traveler grows impatient, unaware that the delay is shielding them from harm. My beloved child, I am your guide. I see what you cannot. There were relationships you longed to enter sooner. Had they begun earlier, they might have unfolded before you were ready to recognize your own worth. You might have accepted less than you deserve. I delayed not to deprive you, but to mature you. There were career moves you desperately wanted. Had they come too soon, the weight of responsibility might have overwhelmed you. The skills you needed were still forming. The confidence you required was still developing. So I allowed time to refine you. You often measure delay by your own timeline. You compare yourself to others and feel behind. But you are not behind. You are being positioned. There is a difference between being delayed and being denied. What is meant for you will not miss you. In your waiting, I was strengthening your discernment. I was teaching you patience. I was showing you that your identity is not tied to how quickly things happen. You learned to trust without immediate results. You learned to keep showing up even when applause was absent. These lessons have built a foundation that will sustain you in the future. My beloved child, sometimes what feels like a setback is actually a shield. I have redirected you from conversations that would have discouraged you. I have closed paths that would have drained you. I have allowed silence where premature answers would have confused you further. Think of a fruit on a tree. If it is picked too early, it is sour and hard. But if it remains on the branch until the right moment, it becomes sweet and nourishing. The waiting season ensures the fruit reaches its fullness. In the same way, your season of delay has been ripening you. You may not see the full picture yet, but one day you will look back and understand. You will see how certain disappointments saved you from deeper pain. You will see how closed doors redirected you toward better ones. You will recognize that my timing carried wisdom beyond your understanding. Do not let impatience convince you that nothing is happening. Beneath the surface, alignment is taking place. Conversations are unfolding. Opportunities are forming. Hearts are being prepared. And you are being strengthened. My beloved child, trust the delay. Trust that I am not slow, but strategic. Trust that I am not withholding, but guarding. What is coming to you will arrive at the right moment, not a moment too soon, not a moment too late. And when it does, you will step into it not only with excitement, but with readiness. My beloved child, there is a quiet pressure that has been weighing on you, even if you rarely speak about it. It is the pressure of comparison. You look around and see others moving forward, achieving milestones, building families, advancing careers, stepping into dreams that look visible and celebrated. And somewhere inside, a voice whispers, "You should be further by now." That voice has caused you to question your pace. It has made you measure your journey against timelines that were never assigned to you. It has convinced you that you are late, that you missed a window, that you are somehow falling short. But I tell you now with gentleness and certainty, you are not behind. You are not behind in life. You are not behind in purpose. You are not behind in growth. You are on a path uniquely designed for you, and it does not follow anyone else's calendar. Imagine a garden filled with different flowers. Some bloom in early spring. Others open in the warmth of summer. Some wait until autumn to reveal their color. If a summer flower looked at a spring bloom and said, "I am too late," it would misunderstand its design. Its beauty was never meant for spring. It was meant for its own appointed season. My beloved child, you have your own season. You have been growing in ways that are not always visible to others. You have been building strength beneath the surface. You have been healing, learning, refining your character. These internal developments may not draw applause, but they matter deeply. They are shaping a foundation that will support what is to come. Comparison distorts perspective. It makes you forget what you have already overcome. It blinds you to the progress you have made. It reduces your unique journey to a race you were never meant to run. My beloved child, this is not a competition. There is no scoreboard in my kingdom. You have walked through challenges that others have not faced. You have carried responsibilities that required maturity beyond your years. You have navigated seasons of uncertainty that strengthened your resilience. All of this has been part of your preparation. If your path looks different, it is because your calling is different. There were moments when you felt embarrassed by where you stand. You hesitated to share your story because it did not look as polished as someone else's. But your story is not incomplete. It is unfolded. A book cannot be judged by reading only one chapter. You are still being written. My beloved child, release the weight of imaginary deadlines. Release the fear that you must rush to catch up. Rushing often leads to choices made from panic rather than wisdom. I would rather guide you steadily than watch you stumble through haste. Trust that what is meant for you is not passing you by. You are not missing out because someone else is receiving something today. Your blessing is not diminished by another's success. There is enough space, enough opportunity, enough grace for you. When you look back years from now, you will see how perfectly your timing aligned with your growth. You will see that the lessons learned in slower seasons equipped you for greater responsibilities. You will see that what felt like delay was alignment. Lift your head, my beloved child. Walk at the pace I have set before you. Celebrate others without diminishing yourself. Rest in the truth that you are exactly where you need to be for this moment. You are not behind. You are becoming. And your becoming is unfolding with precision, care, and purpose. My beloved child, if you could see yourself through my eyes, you would be amazed at the strength you carry. You often focus on your moments of weakness. You remember the times you cried, the times you doubted, the times you felt like giving up. But I remember something else. I remember that you kept going. There were days when getting out of bed felt like a victory. Days when smiling required effort. Days when you questioned whether you had anything left to give. Yet you rose. You showed up. You faced responsibilities. You extended kindness even when you felt empty. That was strength. You think strength means never trembling, never questioning, never feeling overwhelmed. But true strength is continuing despite trembling. It is choosing faith while questions linger. It is moving forward even when your steps feel small. My beloved child, you have displayed that kind of strength more times than you realize. Think back to a season you thought you would not survive. A heartbreak that felt unbearable. A setback that seemed final. A disappointment that shook your confidence. In that moment, you could not imagine standing where you are now. And yet, here you are. You endured. You adapted. You learned. Strength does not always look bold and loud. Sometimes it looks quiet and steady. It looks like choosing not to respond in anger. It looks like forgiving when bitterness would be easier. It looks like trying again after failing. These are not small acts. They are evidence of resilience planted deep within you. When I formed you, I did not create you fragile. I created you capable. I knew the challenges you would face long before you encountered them. And I wove into your spirit the endurance you would need. The strength within you is not accidental. It is intentional. There were times when you said, "I can't do this." But somehow, you did. There were moments when you thought your faith was too small. But even a small spark of faith can light a dark room. You did not collapse under the weight. You bent. You adjusted. You leaned on me. But you did not break. My beloved child, you have mistaken survival for weakness. You have thought that because you struggled, you were not strong. But strength is not the absence of struggle. It is perseverance through it. Imagine a tree standing through a storm. The wind pushes against it. The rain pounds its branches. From a distance, it may look like the tree is about to fall, but its roots hold firm beneath the surface. After the storm passes, the tree still stands. That is you. The storms came. The winds tested you. But your roots, anchored in me, held. You are stronger now than you were a year ago. You are wiser. You are more aware of your boundaries. You are more honest with yourself. These changes are not random. They are the result of strength being exercised quietly over time. I want you to begin seeing yourself differently. When you face a new challenge, do not immediately assume you will fail. Remember what you have already overcome. Remember the nights you thought you would not make it through. Remember the prayers you whispered with tears in your eyes. You made it through those seasons. You will make it through this one too. My beloved child, there is still more strength within you waiting to be revealed. Not strength that hardens your heart, but strength that steadies it. Not strength that isolates you, but strength that empowers you. Stand taller today, not in pride, but in awareness. You are not as fragile as your fears suggest. You are not as incapable as your doubts claim. You carry a resilience that has been tested and proven. And I, who placed that strength within you, will continue to strengthen you for every step ahead. My beloved child, some of the battles you have faced did not begin with you. Some of the fears you wrestled with were shaped long before you were born. Patterns of insecurity, anger, silence, addiction, control, or scarcity may have traveled quietly through generations, settling into homes and hearts as if they were normal. You may have grown up believing certain cycles were simply the way life is. But I tell you now, cycles can be broken. You are not only living for yourself. You are standing at a turning point in your family's story. The awareness you carry, the questions you ask, the desire you have for something healthier and freer, these are not accidents. They are signs that change has already begun within you. Perhaps you noticed habits in your family that caused pain. Words spoken harshly. Emotions avoided. Love expressed conditionally. You felt the weight of it even as a child. You promised yourself that you would be different, yet sometimes you fear you are repeating what you once resisted. My beloved child, do not let fear define you. Awareness is the first crack in the chain. Chains are not always loud. Some are subtle beliefs passed down quietly. We never succeed. We always struggle. Men don't cry. Women must carry everything alone. Love doesn't last. These statements may have shaped your expectations without you realizing it, but they are not truths written over your life. They are narratives that can end with you. Imagine a long line of dominoes standing upright, one behind the other. For years, they have fallen in the same direction, repeating the same pattern. But when one domino refuses to fall, the pattern stops. My beloved child, you are that domino. The moment you choose healing over denial, forgiveness over resentment, courage over fear, the chain begins to break. This does not mean the process is easy. Breaking generational patterns requires patience and humility. It means looking honestly at your own behavior and choosing differently. It means seeking help when needed. It means forgiving those who may never fully understand the impact of their actions. But you are not doing this alone. I am strengthening you to build what was never modeled for you. If you did not see healthy communication, I will teach you how to speak gently and truthfully. If you did not witness steady love, I will show you how to love with consistency. If fear of failure was common in your lineage, I will plant boldness within you. My beloved child, you may feel pressure in this role. You may feel the weight of being the one who changes things. Do not carry that weight in isolation. I am the one empowering the change. You are cooperating with my work, not carrying it alone. Every time you pause before reacting in anger, a chain weakens. Every time you choose to believe that your future can be brighter than your past, a chain cracks. Every time you pursue healing instead of hiding pain, a chain breaks further. You are creating a new legacy, one built on awareness, compassion, and intentional love. The changes you make today will ripple into the lives of those who come after you. Children, whether your own or those influenced by you, will experience greater freedom because you chose courage. Do not underestimate the significance of your growth. What feels like small internal decisions are shaping generations. You are rewriting narratives. You are replacing fear with faith. You are proving that patterns do not have to be permanent. My beloved child, I am breaking generational chains through you. Stand firm in this transformation. Continue choosing light over darkness, healing over harm, truth over old lies. The legacy you are building will reflect freedom. And one day, you will see how your quiet obedience changed more than your own life. My beloved child, there is a whisper you keep hearing beneath the noise of your daily life. It is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not force you. It simply returns again and again, gentle but persistent. You have tried to dismiss it as imagination. You have told yourself it is just another thought. But deep inside, you know it feels different. That whisper is my voice. I do not always shout. I do not compete with the chaos of the world by increasing my volume. I speak in ways that require you to slow down, to quiet your racing thoughts, to become still enough to notice. And when you do, you sense me. The whisper may come as a nudge to forgive someone you have been holding at a distance. It may come as a prompting to pursue something that feels meaningful but uncertain. It may be a quiet conviction to change a habit, to reach out to someone, to trust me more deeply. It is rarely dramatic, but it is always consistent. You have questioned whether it is truly me. You have asked, what if I'm wrong? What if I misinterpret this? My beloved child, my voice does not lead you into fear or confusion. It leads you toward peace, even if the step feels bold. It invites growth, not harm. It carries love, not shame. Imagine sitting beside a calm lake at sunrise. The world is quiet. The surface of the water reflects the sky clearly. In that stillness, even the smallest ripple becomes noticeable. But when the wind is strong and the waters are restless, reflection becomes distorted. Your heart is like that lake. When you are constantly overwhelmed, distracted, or rushing, my whisper becomes harder to recognize. When you create moments of stillness, it becomes clearer. The whisper you hear is not meant to pressure you. It is meant to guide you gently. I respect your free will. I do not force your steps. I offer direction and wait for your response. When you ignore the whisper, it does not disappear in anger. It waits patiently for you to return your attention. There have been times when you followed that quiet prompting, and later you realized how perfectly it aligned with what you needed. There have also been times when you ignored it and wished you had listened. These experiences are not meant to shame you. They are teaching you discernment. My beloved child, the whisper grows clearer as trust grows deeper. The more you respond with obedience, even in small things, the more confident you become in recognizing my guidance. It is a relationship, not a performance. Do not expect the whisper to map out your entire future. It usually illuminates only the next step. Just enough light to move forward without overwhelming you. If I showed you everything at once, you might feel intimidated. So I guide you piece by piece. You may fear that listening to the whisper will require you to step out of comfort. Sometimes it will. Growth often lies beyond familiarity. But remember, I never lead you where my presence cannot sustain you. When you feel that gentle nudge again, pause. Do not rush past it. Sit with it. Ask me for clarity. Peace will confirm what is aligned with me. Anxiety and pressure are not my methods. My beloved child, the whisper you keep hearing is not random. It is personal. It is intentional. It is loving guidance from a father who sees further than you do. Lean into it. Trust it. Respond to it. And watch how your path becomes clearer, one faithful step at a time. My beloved child, there were nights when you could not find the right words. Your thoughts were tangled. Your heart felt too heavy to form sentences. All you could do was sit in silence as tears filled your eyes. You wondered if those moments counted as prayer. You wondered if I understood what you could not express. Let me tell you something tender and true. Your tears were prayers. Every tear that fell carried meaning. Every quiet sob in the dark spoke volumes. When your voice could not rise above a whisper, your heart still reached me. I am not limited to hearing only perfect words or polished sentences. I listen to the language of your soul. There were times when you felt overwhelmed by disappointment. Plans collapsed. Relationships shifted. Hopes seemed fragile. You tried to stay strong for others, but when you were alone, the emotions surfaced. You may have felt embarrassed by your tears, as if they were signs of weakness. But I never saw them that way. Tears are honest. They are the overflow of feelings too deep for language. When you cried out of frustration, I heard your desire for clarity. When you cried out of grief, I felt your longing for comfort. When you cried out of exhaustion, I recognized your need for rest. Nothing about your sorrow was hidden from me. Imagine a child who runs to their father after falling and scraping their knee. The child may not explain every detail of what happened. The tears say enough. The father does not demand a perfect explanation, before offering comfort. He gathers the child into his arms immediately. My beloved child, that is how I respond to you. Your tears were not wasted moments. They softened parts of your heart that were becoming hardened. They released emotions you had been carrying too long. They created space for healing. Even when you felt broken, something sacred was happening. You may not have realized it, but some of your most powerful prayers were prayed through tears. In those moments, your pride dissolved. Your defenses lowered. You came to me honestly, without pretending to be strong. That openness allowed me to move more freely within you. There were also tears of gratitude. Tears that surprised you when you felt my presence in a quiet way. Tears that came when you realized you had survived something you once feared. Those tears were prayers too. They were acknowledgments of my faithfulness. My beloved child, do not be ashamed of your emotional depth. Sensitivity is not a flaw. It is a sign of a living heart. The heart that feels deeply is a heart capable of loving deeply. And I cherish your heart. When you cried and felt alone, you were not alone. I was closer than you knew. I was collecting every tear, holding every unspoken word. Even when you questioned whether I was listening, I was already responding in ways you could not yet see. Sometimes my answers to tearful prayers do not arrive instantly. Healing unfolds gradually. Clarity emerges step by step. But do not mistake the absence of immediate change for absence of care. I am working even when the process feels slow. Your tears were not signs of defeat. They were expressions of trust. You brought your pain to me instead of hiding it completely. That matters. My beloved child, the next time tears rise to your eyes, do not push them away in shame. Let them fall if they need to. Know that I see them. Know that I understand them. Know that they reach me just as clearly as spoken words. And know this above all. I am responding, even now, to every tear you have ever cried. My beloved child, there have been many moments when you asked me why. Why did that relationship end? Why did that opportunity fall apart? Why didn't the door close when you had prayed so hard for it to open? Why did you have to walk through that valley at all? The question lingered in your heart, sometimes quietly, sometimes with frustration. You did not always receive immediate answers. And in the silence, it was easy to assume there was no purpose behind the pain. But I tell you now with gentle assurance, you are about to see why. Understanding often comes in layers. At first, you only see what is directly in front of you, the disappointment, the delay, the discomfort. But as time unfolds, connections begin to form. You notice how one closed door redirected you to a better opportunity. You see how one painful lesson protected you from a deeper wound. You realize that the path you resisted actually led you toward growth you could not have gained any other way. Think of a tapestry being woven. From the back, the threads look tangled and chaotic. Colors cross in confusing ways. It seems messy and without design. But when the tapestry is turned around, a clear and beautiful pattern appears. My beloved child, you have been looking at the back of the tapestry. I see the front. There are pieces of your story that are aligning right now. Conversations are unfolding. Opportunities are forming. Insights are settling into your spirit. Soon, you will look back at what once confused you and say, "Now I understand." The pain will not disappear from your memory, but its meaning will become clearer. You are about to see why certain people had to leave your life. Your absence created space for healthier connections. You are about to see why certain dreams were delayed. The timing ahead will align with a stronger, wiser version of you. You are about to see why you walked through seasons of solitude. Those quiet months shaped your identity independent of outside approval. Understanding does not always arrive in one dramatic moment. Sometimes it unfolds gradually, like the slow rising of the sun. At first, there is only a faint glow. Then shadows begin to retreat. Eventually, the full light reveals what was hidden in darkness. That is how clarity is coming to you. My beloved child, you have grown impatient at times. You have wanted explanations before you were ready to receive them. But explanations given too soon can overwhelm. I waited until your heart was stronger, until your perspective had widened, until your faith had deepened. You are not walking blindly anymore. You are stepping into awareness. The lessons you once resisted are becoming tools you now value. The resilience you developed is preparing you for responsibilities ahead. The compassion born from your pain will allow you to comfort others authentically. There is a shift happening within you. Where there was confusion, insight is forming. Where there was bitterness, understanding is softening your heart. You are beginning to trust that even the hardest chapters served a purpose. My beloved child, hold on just a little longer. The pieces are connecting. The story is unfolding. The why that once felt distant is moving closer to your understanding. And when you see it, when the realization settles gently into your heart, you will recognize that I was guiding you all along. What once felt random will reveal its intention. What once felt unfair will reveal its shaping power. You are about to see why. And when you do, your trust in me will deepen in ways you never imagined. My beloved child, you were never meant to walk this journey alone. Even though there were seasons of isolation, even though there were moments when you felt misunderstood or unsupported, I did not design you for permanent solitude. I am sending the right people into your life. Not everyone who entered your story was meant to stay. Some came as lessons. Some came as mirrors, reflecting areas within you that needed growth. Some came as temporary companions for a specific stretch of your path. And when their role was complete, they moved on. Their departure may have hurt, but it made space. You have feared opening your heart again. After disappointment, you built quiet walls for protection. You told yourself it was safer not to expect too much from anyone. But my beloved child, protection is different from isolation. I do not ask you to close your heart completely. I ask you to trust me to guide who enters it. The right people will not require you to shrink. They will not compete with your growth. They will not manipulate your kindness. The right people will recognize your value and honor it. They will challenge you in healthy ways. They will support your becoming, not resist it. Imagine a garden again. Some plants cannot thrive beside certain others because they compete for the same nutrients. But when planted beside the right companions, growth becomes stronger and more balanced. In the same way, I'm aligning connections that will nourish your spirit rather than drain it. You may meet these people in unexpected ways. Through simple conversations, through shared experiences, through opportunities that seem ordinary at first. Do not underestimate quiet introductions. Some of the most significant relationships begin gently. My beloved child, I am also teaching you to recognize alignment. The right people will bring peace, not constant confusion. They will respect your boundaries. They will celebrate your progress instead of feeling threatened by it. You will not have to constantly prove your worth in their presence. This does not mean there will never be disagreement or challenge. Healthy relationships include growth and honest conversation. But the foundation will be mutual respect and sincerity, not fear or instability. I am also removing certain connections that no longer fit your next season. You may feel the distance forming. You may notice conversations becoming less frequent or less meaningful. Do not cling to what I am gently releasing. Trust that every removal creates room for something better aligned with your purpose. Loneliness may visit you briefly during transitions. When old connections fade and new ones have not yet fully formed, the space can feel empty. But emptiness is often preparation. It is the clearing of a field before new seeds are planted. My beloved child, remain open. Do not allow past hurt to convince you that deep connection is impossible. The right people are not perfect, but they are intentional. They will value honesty. They will show up consistently. They will walk beside you, not ahead of you or behind you. As you continue growing, your circle will shift to reflect your growth. You are becoming more aware, more healed, more grounded. The relationships around you will begin to mirror that stability. Trust my timing in this area of your life as well. Just as I have guided your personal growth, I am guiding your connections. The right friendships, partnerships, mentors, and companions are being positioned. You are not destined to journey alone. I am sending the right people, those who will walk with you in strength, sincerity, and shared purpose. And when they arrive, you will recognize the difference. My beloved child, for a long time you have been carrying weight that was never meant to stay on your shoulders forever. Responsibility, regret, fear, expectation, disappointment. Layer upon layer settled quietly over your heart. You grew used to the heaviness. You learned how to function with it. You told yourself, this is just life. But I tell you now, the weight is lifting. You may not notice it all at once. It may not fall away dramatically. But slowly, gently, you are breathing deeper. Thoughts that once consumed you are loosening their grip. Situations that once felt unbearable are beginning to feel manageable. That is not coincidence. That is release. You have been learning to let go. Letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. It is recognizing what you cannot control and choosing not to let it control you. For too long, you tried to carry outcomes that were not yours to manage. You replayed mistakes in your mind, as if punishment would rewrite the past. You carried responsibility for other people's choices, as if you could fix what was never yours to fix. My beloved child, I am teaching you to set down what does not belong to you. Imagine a traveler walking along a road with a heavy backpack. At first, they do not notice how much they are carrying. But as the miles pass, the straps dig into their shoulders. Your pace slows. When they finally stop and open the bag, they realize it is filled with items they do not need, old worries, unnecessary guilt, imagined futures. One by one, they remove them. With each item left behind, their steps become lighter. That is what is happening within you. You are releasing the need to please everyone. You are releasing the belief that you must have every answer. You are releasing the fear that if you rest, everything will fall apart. You are beginning to trust that I am holding what you cannot. You may notice that certain conversations no longer trigger you the same way. You may notice that criticism does not pierce as deeply as it once did. You may notice that you are less reactive and more reflective. These are signs that the weight is lifting. The heaviness you carried was understandable. You wanted to protect your future. You wanted to avoid more pain. You wanted to make sure nothing slipped through your fingers again. But constant vigilance is exhausting. I did not create you to live in constant tension. My beloved child, you are safe enough to relax your grip. When you surrender control, you are not abandoning responsibility. You are trusting me with what exceeds your capacity. You are acknowledging that you are human, and that is not a flaw. It is by design. Feel the difference in your spirit now. The anxiety that once felt constant is becoming quieter. The urgency that once drove you relentlessly is softening. You are beginning to move from striving to trusting. This does not mean challenges will disappear completely. Life still holds complexity, but you are learning to carry it differently. Instead of gripping tightly, you are holding things with open hands. The weight is lifting because you are no longer trying to be everything for everyone. You are no longer punishing yourself for imperfections. You are no longer demanding that the future reveal itself immediately. My beloved child, breathe deeply. Notice the space forming within you. Notice the calm replacing chaos. This is freedom growing quietly. I am taking what has been too heavy for you. I am strengthening what remains. And as you continue to release what does not belong to you, you will discover that your steps feel lighter, your heart feels steadier, and your faith feels stronger. The weight is lifting now, and you are rising with it. My beloved child, beneath all your striving, beneath your courage, beneath your resilience, there is a deep desire within you to feel safe. Truly safe. Not just physically secure, but emotionally anchored. Safe to rest. Safe to trust it. Safe to exhale without fear that everything will collapse. You have not always felt that safety in the world around you. Circumstances changed unexpectedly. People prove unpredictable. Stability sometimes felt temporary. And so you learned to stay alert. You learned to anticipate problems before they arrived. You learned to protect your heart by staying guarded. But I am not unpredictable. I am not unstable. I am not temporary. You are safe with me. Safety with me does not mean you will never face challenges. It means that within those challenges, you are not alone and you are not unprotected. It means there is a foundation beneath your feet that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Imagine a child caught in a sudden storm. Thunder crashes. Lightning flashes. The wind howls loudly. The child runs into their father's arms. The storm does not instantly stop, but in those arms, the child feels calm. The father's presence changes the experience of the storm. My beloved child, that is what my presence offers you. You have carried a quiet fear that if you let your guard down, you will be hurt again. If you trust too fully, you will be disappointed. If you rest too deeply, something will go wrong. That fear has kept you strong, but it has also kept you tense. I am inviting you to soften. You do not have to anticipate every possible outcome. You do not have to brace yourself for constant impact. You do not have to carry the burden of self-protection alone. I am your refuge. I am your steady place. When your thoughts race at night, come to me. When your heart feels unsettled, come to me. When you feel unsure about what lies ahead, come to me. I am not distant. I am not impatient with your worries. I welcome them. Safety also means being fully known and still fully loved. You do not have to hide your doubts from me. You do not have to present a polished version of yourself. I see your fears. I see your questions. I see your weaknesses, and none of them push me away. My beloved child, you are not too much for me. Your emotions do not overwhelm me. Your past does not disqualify you. You can rest in my presence without pretending to be stronger than you feel. Think of a fortress built on solid rock. Winds may strike its walls. Rain may fall heavily, but the foundation holds firm. I am that foundation in your life. You may feel the winds, but they will not destroy you. Safety with me also means guidance. You are not wandering through life without direction. I am attentive to your steps. I am aware of what approaches you. I am guarding doors you cannot see and opening paths at the right time. Let your shoulders relax. Let your breath slow. Let your heart settle into the truth that you are held. You are not navigating this world alone. You are not exposed and unsupported. Even when circumstances feel uncertain, my presence remains steady. My beloved child, you are safe with me. And in that safety, you will find the courage to live more freely, love more openly, and trust more deeply than you ever thought possible. My beloved child, there is a dream you once carried with excitement. It made your eyes light up when you spoke about it. It stirred something alive inside you. But over time, disappointment, delay, and doubt settled over it like dust. You stopped mentioning it. You tucked it away quietly. You told yourself it was time to be realistic. But I tell you now, the dream is not dead. It may look different than you first imagined. It may not unfold in the same shape or timeline you once expected. But the core of that dream, the desire to create, to build, to love, to serve, to grow, that spark is still alive. And I am breathing on it again. You thought letting go of the dream was maturity. You thought silence meant acceptance. But deep inside, when you see someone else walking in a similar calling, something still stirs. It is not jealousy. It is recognition. It is your heart remembering what it once hoped for. The world may have told you that you waited too long, that you missed your chance, that others moved ahead while you stood still. But my beloved child, I am not bound by the world's timelines. I am not limited by your past delays. What I place within you does not expire. Imagine a field in winter. The ground looks barren. No flowers bloom. No crops are visible. To the untrained eye, it seems lifeless. But beneath the surface, seeds remain. They are not dead. They are waiting for the right conditions. When spring arrives, life emerges again. My beloved child, your dream has been in winter. But winter does not last forever. There were reasons for the pause. You needed growth in certain areas. You needed healing in others. You needed experiences that would deepen your understanding. If the dream had flourished earlier, it may not have had strong roots. Now you are wiser. You are steadier. You are more grounded. Perhaps your dream was to start something meaningful. To write. To lead. To build a family. To change your careers. To serve in a new way. Whatever form it takes, I know it intimately because I placed it in you. Fear told you that trying again would only bring disappointment. Comparison told you that others are more qualified. Doubt told you that you are not ready. But listen closely. Readiness grows as you move, not before you begin. The dream is not asking you for perfection. It is asking you for courage. You do not have to relaunch everything at once. Start small. Take one step toward it. To visit it with fresh eyes. Pray over it again. Speak about it again. Allow yourself to imagine again without immediately shutting it down. My beloved child, I delight in the dreams I plant in my children. They are not random desires. They are invitations to partnership with me. When you pursue what aligns with your gifts and your heart, you reflect my creativity. If certain details of the old dream no longer fit, release them. Sometimes I refine dreams so they become purer and more aligned with your purpose. What remains after refinement is stronger. You have not missed your moment. Your moment is unfolding. The dream that feels dormant is stirring again because it is time. Lift it gently from where you set it down. Dust off the discouragement. Replace it with trust. Replace it with action. My beloved child, the dream is not dead. It is waiting for your faith to meet my guidance. And when you take that first brave step again, you will discover that I have been preparing the ground all along. My beloved child, trust is one of the most delicate parts of your heart. It is not given lightly anymore. There was a time when you trusted easily, when you believed words at face value, when you opened your heart without hesitation. A life taught you caution. Experience taught you that not everyone handles trust gently. You were disappointed, perhaps deeply. Promises were broken. Loyalty was not returned. Vulnerability was met with misunderstanding. And so you built quiet walls. You told yourself it was wisdom. In many ways it was. But some of those walls also kept out the possibility of healing connection. I am not asking you to trust recklessly. I am teaching you to trust wisely. There is a difference between naivety and discernment. Naivety ignores warning signs. Discernment recognizes them without becoming hardened. I am shaping discernment within you. You are learning to observe patterns, to listen to intuition, to move slowly when necessary. This is growth. But alongside discernment, I am restoring softness. You do not have to assume everyone will hurt you. You do not have to expect betrayal as the norm. Yes, some people will disappoint you. Humans are imperfect. But not everyone is unsafe. Not every relationship ends in pain. I am guiding you toward connections that honor your boundaries and value your heart. Trust begins first with me. If you struggle to trust others, often it is because you are still learning to trust that I am guiding your steps. When you believe that I am present in your choices, you become less fearful of making mistakes. You understand that even if something does not unfold perfectly, I can redeem it. My beloved child, think of trust like learning to walk again after an injury. At first, each step feels uncertain. You test your weight carefully. You move slowly. But with time and repeated steps, confidence returns. You are in that process now. You may feel hesitant to open up fully. That is okay. Healing trust does not demand immediate vulnerability. It unfolds gradually. One honest conversation. One kept promise. One moment of showing up consistently. Trust is rebuilt brick by brick. I'm also teaching you to trust yourself. You have doubted your instincts before. You questioned your judgment because past choices led to pain. But you are not the same person you were then. You have grown. You see more clearly. You recognize red flags sooner. Trust the growth within you. You do not need to become guarded to the point of isolation. You can remain open and wise at the same time. You can love deeply without losing yourself. You can care without ignoring your boundaries. My beloved child, I am patient with your pace. I do not rush your healing. I celebrate each small step you take toward vulnerability again. Every time you choose honesty instead of silence, every time you allow someone to see the real you, even a little, you are rebuilding trust. Do not let past hurt define your future capacity for connection. The fact that you were wounded does not mean you are incapable of safe love. It means you are human. I am teaching you to trust again. Me, yourself, and the right people I am placing in your path. This lesson will not make you naive. It will make you balanced. Strong yet tender. Wise yet open. And as trust grows again within you, you will experience relationships and opportunities with a deeper peace than you ever knew before. My beloved child, when you look back over your life, there are moments that seem scattered and disconnected. A sudden move, An unexpected loss, a chance meeting, a door that closed without warning. At the time, each event felt isolated, almost random. You reacted as best as you could, without seeing how it would fit into a larger story. But I tell you now, this was never random. What appeared chaotic to you was never chaotic to me. I have been weaving threads together long before you noticed the pattern. Even the moments you resisted have been used. Even the detours you regretted have been redirected. Even the mistakes you wish you could erase have shaped wisdom within you. Imagine standing very close to a painting. When you press your face against the canvas, you only see brushstrokes, lines that look abrupt, colors that seem out of place. But when you step back, the full image becomes clear. My beloved child, you have been standing too close to your own life to see the full design. That friendship you thought was accidental taught you a lesson you needed before your next season. That failure you tried to forget humbled you in a way that prepared your character. That opportunity that fell apart forced you to develop skills you now rely on. None of it was wasted. You may think, but what about my poor decisions? What about the times I acted out of fear instead of faith? Even those moments have not escaped my ability to redeem. I do not celebrate your mistakes, but I transform their impact. I take what you thought would define you negatively and use it to deepen your compassion and awareness. There were times you felt like you were wandering without direction. You compared yourself to others who seemed to have clearer paths. You questioned whether you missed something important. But even in your wandering, you were learning. You were gathering insight. You were developing resilience. My beloved child, I am not surprised by your journey. I knew every chapter before it unfolded. I saw the tears before they fell. I saw the victories before you achieved them. And I have been guiding you, even when you felt unsure of the direction. Think about how certain experiences can act now. How a skill you learned years ago is suddenly useful. How a conversation you once had now makes sense. How a lesson from a painful season is helping you navigate today. These are not coincidences. They are threads meeting at the right time. Even this very moment is not random. The fact that you are hearing these words, reflecting on your life, sensing that something is shifting within you, this too is part of the design. You are not the result of accidents and chance encounters alone. You are the result of intention, guidance, and quiet orchestration. What felt like chaos was often correction. What felt like delay was alignment. What felt like loss was sometimes protection. My beloved child, begin to look at your story with new eyes. Instead of asking, "Why did this happen to me?" ask, "What was this shaping within me?" Instead of seeing only broken pieces, look for the forming pattern. You may not understand every detail yet. Some answers will come later. But trust this truth deeply: your life is not random. Every step, every pause, every redirection had been woven together with purpose. And as you continue forward, you will see more clearly how the scattered pieces fit into a beautiful and intentional whole. My beloved child, you have reflected, healed, learned, and grown. You have waited. You have questioned. You have wrestled with fear and released heavy burdens. And now, there comes a moment when reflection must turn into movement. That moment is here. Step forward now. There is a difference between preparation and hesitation. Preparation strengthens you. Hesitation keeps you stuck. For a long time, preparation was necessary. You needed healing. You needed clarity. You needed to understand who you are and whose you are. But now, continuing to wait may no longer be wisdom. It may be fear disguised as caution. You have asked me for direction. I have given you insight. You have asked for strength. I have shown you your resilience. You have asked for confirmation. I have spoken to your heart. At some point, faith requires action. Imagine standing at the edge of a river with a bridge in front of you. You have examined the bridge carefully. You tested its stability. You watched others cross it. You prayed about it. The bridge is steady. The path is clear. Yet you remain standing at the edge because crossing means leaving the familiar side behind. My beloved child, you cannot reach the other side without stepping forward. The future you desire requires participation. It requires you to apply for the opportunity, to speak the truth, to begin the project, to set the boundary, to forgive, to risk loving again. Whatever your next step looks like, it will not take itself. You may still feel uncertainty. That is normal. Courage is not the absence of uncertainty. It is the decision to move despite it. You do not need to feel completely fearless before acting. You need only enough trust to take one step. Do not wait for perfect conditions. Conditions are rarely perfect. Growth often begins in imperfect circumstances. If you wait for absolute clarity, you may delay blessings meant for this season. My beloved child, I'm not sending you ahead alone. When I say step forward, I am walking with you. I am strengthening your footing. I am guiding your path. Even if you stumble slightly, I will steady you. There will always be reasons to stay where you are. Comfort is persuasive. Familiar routines feel safe. But ask yourself honestly, are you staying because it is right or because it is comfortable? You were not created for stagnation. You were created for movement, for impact, for growth. The dreams stirring within you, the whispers you keep hearing, the clarity forming in your heart, they all point toward action. Start small if you must. One conversation, one email, one decision, one honest prayer spoken boldly. Movement creates momentum. Momentum builds confidence. You do not need to map out the entire journey. You only need to take the next faithful step. As you move, I will illuminate the path ahead. My beloved child, this is not a time for shrinking back. It is a time for trust in motion. The preparation season has shaped you. The healing season has strengthened you. The clarity season has confirmed you. Now, step forward. Leave behind the version of yourself that hesitated out of fear. Walk into the version of yourself that trusts me deeply. You are Ray, not because you feel perfect, but because you are guided. Take the step. I am with you. My beloved child, you may not always see it, but there is a light within you that this world desperately needs. It is not the kind of light that demands attention or applause. It is quieter than that. It is the light of kindness when others choose indifference. The light of patience in tense moments. The light of hope when conversations drift toward despair. You have underestimated the impact of your presence. You sometimes believe that only loud voices or grand achievements make a difference. But lying does not need to be loud to be powerful. Even a small candle can guide someone through a dark room. Even a gentle word can shift the direction of a weary heart. Think about the times someone offered you a small act of encouragement, a simple message, a steady presence, a listening ear. Those moments mattered more than you may have expressed. In the same way, your words and actions carry influence beyond what you see. My beloved child, your experiences have shaped you into someone who understands pain, growth, and resilience. That understanding is not just for you. It equips you to support others who are walking similar paths. When you speak honestly about your journey, you give others permission to be honest about theirs. You may feel ordinary. You may think, I am just one person. What difference can I make? But I do not measure impact by size. I measure it by sincerity. There are people in your circle, family, friends, colleagues, even strangers, who are quietly watching how you handle challenges. When you choose integrity over compromise, they notice. When you choose forgiveness over bitterness, they notice. When you choose faith over fear, they notice. Your light is not about perfection. It is about authenticity. It is about showing up as you are, with humility and courage. You do not need to present yourself as flawless to inspire others. In fact, your honesty about struggles often shines brighter than any polished image. Imagine a dark hillside at night. One house turns on a single light. From a distance, that light becomes visible across the valley. It signals life, warmth, safety. You are the house in certain seasons of someone else's life. Do not hide your light because you fear standing out. Do not dim your compassion because others may misunderstand. Do not silence your encouragement because you assume someone else will speak. You were not placed in your environment by accident. Whether in your workplace, your community, your family, or your online spaces, your presence matters. There are conversations you are meant to have. There are seeds of hope you are meant to plant. My beloved child, shining your light does not mean exhausting yourself. It does not mean saying yes to every demand. It means allowing your authentic self to reflect my love in natural ways. When you live aligned with truth and kindness, your light shines effortlessly. Even in moments when you feel small, your light remains. Even when you are tired, your compassion still carries weight. Even when you doubt yourself, the kindness you extend still touches hearts. Do not underestimate what flows through you. You are a vessel of grace, whether you realize it or not. Your light is needed, not in some distant place, but right where you are. Shine gently. Shine consistently. Shine without fear. And trust that even when you cannot see the ripple effect, I am using your light to illuminate paths far beyond your view. My beloved child, as you stand in this moment, after reflection, after healing, after release, I want you to lift your eyes and see what is forming ahead of you. I am doing something new in your life. It may not yet look dramatic. It may not come with loud announcements or sudden changes. But newness often begins quietly, like the first green shoot pushing through soil after a long winter. It is fragile at first, easy to overlook, but it carries life within it. You have been shaped by your past, but you are not confined to it. You have learned from it, grown through it, healed within it. Now, you are stepping into a fresh chapter. You may feel a mixture of excitement and hesitation. Excitement because something within you senses possibility. Hesitation because newness requires letting go of familiarity. Even if the old season was difficult, it was known. The new season carries uncertainty. But I do not introduce newness to destabilize you. I introduce it to expand you. Think of a tree that has outgrown its pot. For a while, the pot served its purpose and supported early growth. But eventually, the roots begin to press against the edges. The tree cannot grow further unless it is replanted in wider ground. My beloved child, I am expanding your ground. Old mindsets are being replaced with clearer vision. Old fears are losing their power. Old limitations are being challenged. You are thinking differently, dreaming differently, responding differently. Do not cling to what I am gently transforming. Some routines will change. Relationships will shift. Some goals will evolve. This is not loss. It is transition. Newness also means fresh strength. The fatigue you once carried will not define your next chapter. The confusion that once clouded your decisions will give way to clarity. The doubt that once silenced your voice will loosen its grip. I am awakening creativity within you. Ideas you once dismissed are resurfacing. Opportunities you did not expect are appearing. Conversations are opening doors. Pay attention to these subtle movements. They are signs of new beginnings. You do not need to force the new season. You simply need to remain open. When I prompt you to try something differently, respond with curiosity instead of fear. When I nudge you toward growth, lean into it. My beloved child, newness does not erase your past. It redeems it. Everything you have experienced now becomes foundation rather than burden. Your scars become wisdom. Your mistakes become lessons. Your healing becomes strength. There will be moments when you question whether you are ready for what is ahead. But readiness is not about having every answer. It is about trusting me as you move forward. Do not expect everything to change overnight. New seasons unfold step by step. One decision. One opportunity. One shift at a time. Look around you. Feel the subtle shift in your spirit. The heaviness is lighter. The vision is clearer. The hope feels more grounded. I am doing something new. Not just around you, but within you. And as you walk into this newness, you will discover that it was not sudden after all. It was forming all along, quietly, faithfully, preparing you for a chapter that reflects growth, freedom, and deeper trust. Step into it with confidence, my beloved child. The new is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. My beloved child, pause with me here. Before you rush into what is next, before you let the noise of daily life return, I want you to remember this moment. There are moments in life that quietly divide chapters. They do not always come with fireworks or dramatic signs. Sometimes they come through a realization, a shift in understanding, a deep breath that feels different than the ones before it. This is one of those moments. Right now, something within you has settled. The confusion that once felt overwhelming has softened. The fear that once felt loud has grown quieter. The questions that once pressed urgently against your mind now feel held in my hands. A change may feel subtle, but it is significant. Remember how you felt when you first began this journey. The uncertainty, the weight, the searching, and how novice way had shifted. You have seen your strength. You have recognized my guidance. You have understood that your story is not random. You have felt the lifting of burdens and the stirring of new beginnings. This moment marks growth. You may not see all the evidence yet, but it is there. In the way you think differently. In the way you respond with more patience. In the way you are willing to trust again. In the way you sense hope rising instead of fading. Do not let this clarity slip away unnoticed. Life will continue. Responsibilities will call. Conversations will distract. Challenges may still arise. But carry this moment with you as an anchor. When doubt tries to return, remember what you understood here. When fear tries to regain volume, remember how peace felt in this space. My beloved child, growth is not always loud. It is often quiet, like roots deepening beneath the surface. But roots determine stability, and your roots have deepened. Take a breath and acknowledge how far you have come. The version of you who once felt overwhelmed would be amazed at your resilience now. The version of you who once questioned your worth would be proud of your courage. You are not the same person you were before this reflection. You are steadier, wiser, more aware of my presence, more confident in your path. There will be days ahead when you need to return to this reminder. On those days, close your eyes and recall this feeling of clarity. Recall the understanding that you are guided, protected, and purposeful. This moment is not just emotional, it is foundational. It is a turning point in how you see yourself and how you see me working in your life. My beloved child, remember that you were not abandoned in your confusion. You were shaped by it. You were not defeated by your struggles. You were strengthened through them. You were not delayed without reason. You were aligned for something greater. Let gratitude rise within you, not only for what is coming, but for what you have already survived. Hold this moment gently. Let it remind you that change is possible, that healing is real, that guidance is constant. You will step forward from here, but you will not forget this place of realization. Remember this moment. It marks the beginning of a deeper trust, a steadier walk, and a heart that knows it is never alone. My beloved child, you have walked with me through reflection, through healing, through truth, through courage. And now we stand at the closing of this chapter, not as an ending but as a blessing. You were meant to see this message. Out of all the noise in your life, out of all the distractions and countless voices, your heart was drawn here for a reason. You needed reassurance. You needed confirmation. You needed to be reminded that you are seen, guided, protected, and deeply loved. And I have spoken. Carry this with you. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are not disqualified. You are not alone. Every delay shaped you. Every tear strengthened you. Every closed door redirected you. Every whisper guided you. I have been faithful in every season, even the ones you did not understand. Step forward now with confidence. Let fear fall behind you. Let old labels lose their power. Let regret release its grip. Walk knowing that I go before you, beside you, and behind you. Walk knowing that newness is unfolding. Walk knowing that your light is needed. Walk knowing that I am your refuge and your strength. And as you continue, remember this. The words you have heard here are not only for you to keep. There are other weary hearts searching for the same reassurance you once needed. There are others waiting for light in their darkness. My beloved child, when you choose to support this mission, through super thanks, through membership, or through the PayPal link placed in the description and shown in the QR code, you are not simply giving. You are sowing into souls. As I have said, cast your bread upon the waters, for you will find it after many days. When you release generosity and faith, I multiply it beyond what you see. If your heart has been stirred, that stirring is my invitation. Do not ignore it. Let your giving become an act of obedience. Let it become a seed that grows into hope for someone else. Let it become oil that keeps the lamp burning for those still searching. I bless every hand that gives. I bless every heart that responds. I breathe increase over your generosity and peace over your home. What you release in faith, I return with abundance in ways seen and unseen. Now receive my final blessing over you. May peace guard your mind. May courage steady your steps. May clarity guide your decisions. May restoration continue in your heart. May joy surprise you. May trust deepen within you. May your life reflect my love in quiet, powerful ways. You were meant to see this. You were meant to rise. You were meant to trust again. Go forward, my beloved child, covered in my grace and anchored in my promise. Amen.